Hi, my name is Riley Allen. This is my review of Chapter 3 of The Hunger Games, which is just titled Chapter 3. So we start off with Katniss and Peeta being led off to, the Justice Building or whatever, so they can say their goodbyes to their family. Katniss mentioned that they're basically frog-marched by the, peacekeepers, and she mentions probably because someone tried to run away, although she's never witnessed it. Which we later learn does happen in Sunrise on the Reaping. You gotta think that Suzanne Collins is really rereading her own damn book just to figure out what she could shove into it. Huh. I mentioned someone probably ran away. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna use that. So the first person who visits her is, of course, Prim and her mom. She hugs them and everything. Also, I love that she was, commenting on the, velvet couch. Or velvet chair, whatever. And then, after a moment of just hugging them, she lays down the law. She gets to business. She, basically tells them the do's and don'ts. Don't take out Tessera. Don't do this. Do this. She doesn't bother to tell Prim to try and hunt because she tried that. And after the animal was shot, all Prim could do was talk about, if we get it home soon enough, we can heal it. And then she kind of lays into her mother a bit, you can't check out. And her mother, I guess, to her credit, is kind of justifiably angry. She was, I guess, clinically depressed or some shit like that. And she points out that if she had medicine, she could have been okay. And, which, fair enough to Katniss, she doesn't give a shit. She nearly starved to death. So, fair enough to her, she probably doesn't give a shit. Although she does acknowledge that it's probably true, as she has seen her mother heal people, but she can't really afford to think like that. And also, she nearly died of starvation. She's probably a bit bitter. So all she says is, well, then take the medicine. The next person to come see her is the baker, Peeta's father. He comes in, sits in silence, hands her some cookies, and assures her that he'll make sure the girl's fed. Katniss comments about the shitty trade he made earlier, a squirrel for a fresh loaf, and she mentions that he shrugs as if it couldn't possibly matter. Which, yeah, I don't think it could matter. You're about to fucking die. His son's about to die. I don't think much is mattering to him right then and there. So I gotta wonder why he came and brought the cookies. Is this something that the baker always does? Every year he brings cookies to the tributes to assure them that, hey, there is people in District 12 rooting for you. Is that just something he's done? Or does he usually give it to the families, but he was already going there for Peeta, so he just cut out the middleman and handed it to Katniss directly? Was he doing it just for Katniss because Katniss is Katniss? The chick who makes sure there's food on his table and is the daughter of the chick he used to have a crush on? I mean, I don't know. Then it's Madge. Madge, who Katniss comes in. She is in there with a plan. She takes her gold pin off her shirt, pins it on Katniss, and said, "You're allowed to have a token. Promise me you'll wear it." So Katniss promises she'll wear it. And then Madge proceeds to kiss Katniss on the cheek and just dip. She came in there with a plan. She did that plan. She left. And fucking Katniss. Huh. Maybe me and Madge were friends after all. No, really? You think? And then Gale comes in. And Katniss says, even though there's nothing romantic about us, I still go into his open arms. Is she trying to convince us or herself? Because I don't think either of us are buying it. So, and again, kind of like Madge, Gale has this game plan. He's trying to tell Katniss, what she needs to do. Get a bow. If there isn't a bow, make a bow. There's going to be wood because after that year where people are freezing to death in the night, they always give wood because can't have all those anticlimactic deaths. And then he says, you already know how to kill. It can't be no different than killing animals. And Katniss is like, which I think is fucking awful. I don't think that is true at all. And I don't think that is Gale just being an asshole. I think that is Gale being ignorant. And I think it is also Katniss being ignorant because she agrees that if she, kind of turns away the fact that they're talking, and all that, they're probably no different than hunting animals. And I think this is both them being ignorant and just them hoping for their friend / himself to come home. Also, I love that damn near immediately Katniss was conscious of the cameras in her game plan. She made sure not to cry because she doesn't want to be seen weak on camera, I guess. Because I guess tears for her is a type of weakness. So as they're taken to the train, she notices that Peeta is crying and not making any attempt to hide it. And she's like, it's bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works. Meanwhile, Peeta, we later learn, just got told by his mom that District 12 will have a winner this year. That girl's a fighter. He just listened to his mom tell him, yeah, you ain't shit. You gonna die. So, of course, he's not making no attempt to dry his tears. Katniss over here is thinking of a strategy. So she finally looks at the pen after getting changed and taking a shower, her first ever shower. And she notices it's a mockingbird, and she explains that, or a mockingjay. A mockingjay is the descendants of jabberjays, which is a capital mutt which was used during the rebellion to spy on rebels, as they could mimic their voices, but the rebels proceeded to use it against them by feeding them false lies. So in shame, they released the jabberjays hoping they died, but they didn't. They mated with female mockingbirds and created the mockingjays. The mockingjays can't do the full shebang, but they can mimic notes. And Katniss' father was one of the ones that could, pique their interest and have him mimic his notes. She comments after her father died, she couldn't bring up the practice of singing, and that having the pen is like having a bit of her father with her. She, Effie, and Peeta have dinner, or lunch, or whatever, and both her and Peeta stuff themselves. Effie makes a shit comment about how the kids from last year had no table manners. And it offends Katniss because, they probably never had a good full meal in their lives, and they probably were not worried about table manners. So she proceeded to eat the rest of her meal with her fingers. God, she's petty, and I love it. So they get to the recap of the reaping, and she comments on just 4 people. A monstrous boy from 2 who rushed forward to volunteer, a fox-faced girl from District 5 with red hair, a crippled boy from District 10 with a lame leg, and a 12-year-old from District 12, or District 11. And there was no volunteers for the girl from District 11. Then she comments that the people in the Capitol don't know what to do about their little rebellious action of not clapping, and you gotta think that they were probably internally panicking, like, they're not clapping. They kind of play it off, be like, District 12 has always been a bit backwards, those funny little customs. And luckily, Haymitch does save all their asses by, bringing the camera to him by falling off. So they're like, where is Effie's like, where is Haymitch? And Katniss and Peeta just kind of joke around. Like, he's probably drunk. He's always drunk. And, they're just kind of joking with him. And it's fair enough to Haymitch. I mean, I understand. Haymitch is obviously traumatized, but also at the same time, there's a damn good chance that, Katniss and Peeta are gonna die, so, like, yeah. And their mentor is currently MIA. Effie gets offended, though, and just says, after Haymitch comes in, throws up, and falls in it, and says, he's their lifeline, in the Capitol, so laugh away. And I wonder if this is Effie defending Haymitch, because you gotta think they gotta be some type of friends. And I guess she doesn't like that her somewhat kind of friend is getting made fun of, but also, if anyone can make fun of Haymitch, it's the two people who he's supposed to mentor. Also, I don't feel like Effie needed to do that. They were gonna die anyway. Like, in their minds, they're dying. They're probably gonna die, so they're just trying to find enjoyment, and they're like, damn, we really are gonna die, man, and this is our mentor. That probably scared them even more, because that drunk is our lifeline. We're fucked. Yeah, so that's how the chapter ends. Also, we got a history lesson, Panem history lessons with Katniss, about how the Capitol is in the Rockies. District 12 is in the Appalachian area. Yeah. Overall, I'm going to give this chapter about an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video.